Welcome to part 4 of this series of physics interactable foliage. In this video I want to see how we can interact with this little guy here, which is the static mesh fern that we just dumped into our level. So when I run into him, nothing happens, and I can actually stand on top of him, so nothing is really going on. And actually that holds the same for all of these. So we need to find a way to interact with these. And to do that, we need to take a look at how the collision is set up. And I kind of assume that you know your way around the collision channels and all that, but I may mention a little bit on it anyway, because this is well, I've been using them, but I can't really say that I understood how they worked, and especially not for the foliage part. So I may mention a little bit extra on that. So to begin with, this guy here is just the skeletal mesh that we dragged into the level, and if we simulate physics on him, and we're gonna get a little bit of response from this. So right now we can actually stand on top of this, and it's gonna react. But the thing is, one thing is we can stand on top of it, and we don't want to be able to do that, and we can't really pass through this. As you can see, maybe see, I can't really pass this one. And I want to be able to just walk right through it. So the way to set that up is to look at how the collision is going to respond. For the fern, it's going to respond to the collision capsule. Let's see. So this is the collision preset physics asset actor. So if we select custom, we can see how the settings for this is. So with this setting, this preset, this guy, the physics skeletal mesh is being treated as a physics body, which is going to be blocking everything. And if we set that back to physics actor, and we check our mannequin capsule component, we can see that it has a preset of pawn, and if we switch here, we can see that it's gonna collide, it's gonna block everything, and it's gonna treat itself as a pawn. So those are the settings we have in here. So let's set that back to pawn. So if you remember from my last video, I played around with ragdolls. So we set something to ragdoll. So if I select ragdoll and custom, we can see that this is blocking everything except the pawn. So since the pawn is the collision capsule is set to a pawn, then this will actually ignore the collision capsule. So if we set this to, meaning that if we set this to ragdoll, and I guess we just hit play, we're gonna pass right through. And the reason we just pass right through is because our mesh also has a collision setup, and it has a character mesh. So if we select custom and see how it responds to a ragdoll, one moment, I may have missed something. So ragdoll, it's going to block everything in here. And on the character, Okay, it's gonna treat this as a pawn, so it is also gonna ignore it. I don't want to change. I will see if I can use just a ragdoll for this, because both of them are ragdoll, so these will treat themselves as a physics body, and physics body has block, so these will cause them to block, but they will ignore the pawn, which is set on for the collision capsule. So that means I'm going to choose ragdoll for this for now. So when we walk into this, we can see we are starting to get somewhere with this. So now we can pass through the fern, and might look a little bit jittery, especially if we're standing right on top of it. But as you can see now, we can actually interact with this. And it's doing some weird stuff here, it seems, and that's probably because they are intercolliding right now. Can't really decide if I want to turn that off or not. Alright, never mind. But that doesn't really do anything for our foliage, which are kind of still these static meshes. So that is actually what we want to take a look at also. And here comes the trick, and you may already have guessed it. We need to take each of these static meshes and replace them with an instance of these. But we can't spawn a skeletal mesh just like that. We can spawn a blueprint, I guess. Or maybe I just don't know how to spawn a skeletal mesh, because I can see we can actually spawn a skeletal mesh actually. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna go with this because that's how I figured it out. So if somebody's watching us and know if we can avoid having a blueprint version of this, then please comment on the channel. So yeah. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is to add a blueprint, and I'm gonna dump that in the mannequin folder, and I'm gonna call this just the same underscore blueprint. So that means that we now have we can delete this guy here, and we can dump this one, and that should behave just like that, the same. Just now we have this as a blueprint. And the thing is, if you select the foliage here, you'll see that everything is selected. So in Unreal, apparently this is being treated as one actor instead of a lot of actors, and each of the foliage is, I believe, instances, instance static meshes, or a derivative of that. So I think in particular they are foliage instance static mesh components. That's a long word, and I'm not really sure I got that right, but anyway. So first of all, let's make a proof of concept of this, so we can get something to work, and I may have to split this up because I wanted to talk about the collisions here. So let's see. Actually, what I'm going to do is to cut this video short here and continue the next. So that is when we are going to start working with the actual foliage and get those to interact with us. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next. Bye bye.